On the 18th of July, Strathmore University played host to the launch of Powering Jobs Report, the first annual job census measuring employment from renewable energy for rural electrification in Africa. Former Prime Minister Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, while speaking during the launch of the Powering Jobs Report, said the government should invest in the energy sector since investment in the economy heavily depends on the availability of energy.
Energy drives the economy. Without energy, the economy cannot move. So the amount of energy that are consumed by the society determines the levels of affluence of that society. Our overall aim, I believe, is how to ensure affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy for our economies in order to spur jobs.
On this month's special report, we bring you green business, exploring ways in which businesses can make money, save money, and leverage on the opportunities available in the green energy sector. In the year 2014, Strathmore Business School, under the leadership of Professor De Silva, made a shift to producing green energy.
We installed a solar system in Strathmore University. It is split into 6 different buildings, 6 different systems, but they are all together, bundled together. And the idea was to produce the electricity that we use.
As a complement to the green energy, the school has equally incorporated green models in their building to maximize on nature, cut down cost, and reduce carbon print.
We use a lot of natural light, so you have a lot of glass on top and on the windows. And wherever there is light, we put a control that with a luximeter, it gauges. When it's becoming dark, the light comes on, you see. But if it is up to, say, it is summer and up to 7, there is light. No lamps are coming up. So this is one way. The other is that in this building here, you don't find air conditioning because air conditioning is very expensive. So how do we cool the building? We use the so-called water evaporating cooling system. You know, the evaporation of water is an endothermic reaction. Heat is captured and you get a very cold air. So now, what we do, we put a drape with water in front of a fan. That's basically what it is. And then the fan evaporates this water. That fresh air, which is about 4 to 5 degrees below the ambient temperature, now circulates the building. So, and the cost of maintenance and the cost of operating of this water evaporation machine is 10 times cheaper than air conditioning.
Professor De Silva says going green has given the university a marketing edge since the school has branded itself as a green institution, thus attractive in the market. Further to this, the university has been able to save on costs.
In more or less, we were spending, before setting up this system, we were spending about $300,000 per year, almost like $1,000 per day. Now, in electricity, yes. It's a lot, isn't it? Yes. So it's about 30 million per year, yeah. So now with the solar system, it reduced more than half. So we use during the day from 6:30 in the morning up to 6:30 in the evening. We use the solar, so we don't need to buy. When it becomes night, then we buy, as I told you, for the small load that we have in the evening, which means that a university, because it is offering training during the day, is a very suitable load for solar, because the sun is there during the day, the students are here during the day, then the sun goes away at night, the students also go away at night.
However, going green does not come cheap. To set up their solar system, Professor Da Silva says it cost the institution $1.3 million US, equivalent to 130 million Kenya shillings. And with an interest rate of 14%, borrowing to fund such projects, the cost becomes even more exorbitant. As a remedy, Professor Da Silva proposes the green financing way.
Today, you know, in Kenya, the cost of money is very high. So if you decide to take money from your, say, from the bank, go there, give your collateral, take money, put a solar system in your roof, and then begin enjoying your own power that you produce, that's not financially viable, because the bank will charge you 14, 15, 17% interest. When you do the calculations, the interest you are paying, you would be better off still be hooked to Kenya Power and paying Kenya Power, and that's it, okay? But what makes a difference in my case, and can make a difference in other cases similar to ours, is that countries like, say, Germany or France, Belgium, they have created a number of green lines of credit. This one here, this solar system, 5 years ago, and it was 2014, sure, the price has come down. It makes more financial sense today than it was in 2014. But I borrowed $1.3 million from, not from the commercial bank. I got it from a project called SunRef, which is a project supported by the French government. They gave me the money, 10 years to pay back, 4% per year interest, and 1 year of grace period, so that I got the money, I put my system, and I didn't need to service the loan for 1 year. So that made all the difference, you see. I will finish, as I told you, in about 4 years we will finish that thing. The rest, suppose this thing is going to last another, say, 15 years. How much money did I say I was paying Kenya Power? Around 300,000. So just multiply 300,000 by 15, and you get something like, close to $4 million savings in this kind of project.
Strathmore Business School is also home to the world's first Kenya Climate Innovation Center that seeks to address climate change through youthful entrepreneurship.
The need for the center is coming from the fact that climate change is real. And we know that if we do not take care of climate change, we will probably lose the future generations. So out of that understanding, and Kenya being one of the forefront places where we have entrepreneurship and innovation, it was very critical that we should be able to establish the first in the world Climate Innovation Center, which is Kenya Climate Innovation Center, which then should be able to plug in and try to help businesses to look at climate change as an opportunity and to be able to make Kenya more resilient and probably to make the world better.
The world added nearly 30% more solar energy capacity in 2017. The global solar market grew 29.3% last year, with nations installing 98.9 gigawatts of new capacity, according to data from the industry group Solar Power Europe. The World Bank Global Off-Grid Solar Market Report states that semi-annual sales and impact data as of January to June 2018, 103.5 million is the number of people with improved energy access. Currently, $3.5 billion additional income is unlocked. Over the product's lifetime, $8.4 billion saving on energy expenditure has been made by households switching to solar lanterns or multi-light systems. 51 million metric tons of carbon emissions have also been avoided. Professor Da Silva attributes this paradigm shift in the energy sector.
Until 2016, it was unthinkable to say that there is more investment in renewables than in oil and gas. Oil and gas has been always the biggest animal. In 2016, for the first time, more investment in renewable energy than in fossil fuel. 2017 the same, 2018 the same, 2019 the same. So you are seeing this revolution from fossil fuel to renewable. And the second revolution is from centralize the enormous power producing plant to decentralize the energy system at your compound. And this has a huge advantage. You don't need transmission, you don't need distribution, because where you produce your power is where you consume. you see. So no losses. Germany has less sun than us, but they have an installed capacity in solar which could power Kenya 20 times. Their whole country, solar, powered 20 times. Can you imagine? Because our installed capacity is 2,500 more or less. In Germany, they have 50,000 installed capacity, solar only. With that power, we could power Kenya 20 times. So this is how serious solar power is, you know.
The government on its side has reinstated its commitment to 100% electrification to improve lives and businesses. However, with the cost factor on grid, solar is the next frontier.
Expanding infrastructure is very expensive. We've probably seen that by the increase in our power bills because we're paying back last mile connectivity projects that people did. So the other way of doing electrification is using solar, and being people who are in the Sunbelt region, it just makes sense. People like Germany and all these other countries are trying to are doing this even without the amount of energy that we have. I would confidently say I don't think that Kenya can electrify without solar 100%, because it doesn't make sense to take a line from here and take it to Mandera, where people are pastoralists. It's much easier for them to just buy a solar panel and move around with it. So that's a better idea than, yeah. So I do think that we need solar to electrify Kenya, because grid expansion might not be as feasible in terms of costs, but also in terms of being a country which has a lot of pastoralists and a lot of moving communities.
Industry stakeholders appreciate the government's efforts towards zero-rating solar products. However, with Azure Technologies, a company that combines solar and mobile technology to bring affordable, modern goods and services to the 600 million people in sub-Saharan Africa who lack access to energy, the CEO says there is more the government can do.
When we started, indeed, we had zero rating for our whole system, so including the solar panel, the battery, the LED lights, and other appliances. But since the last couple of years, the only zero rating that we enjoy is actually only on the solar panel and the battery, and that is still a small part of the system. So unfortunately, our rural customers have to be passed on those extra taxes on the lights and the appliances. And again, we've, as an industry, been fighting very hard to remove those. But given some of the shortfalls of taxes that the government has, we've not yet been successful.
Kenya continues to make giant strides in its dedication to renewable energy after unveiling Africa's largest wind power project in a gusty and rocky desert stretch located 600 kilometers north of the capital city of Nairobi. The Lake Turkana wind power farm consists of 365 turbines with a capacity to dispense 310 megawatts of reliable, low-cost energy to Kenya's national grid. Green business is a global movement, and Kenya is at the forefront leading the green path.
Climate change is real. Climate change is here. There's no single country in the whole world on any continent that can say different. Businesses are being disrupted and national economies are suffering the implications. As such, scalable yet affordable green business solutions are being brought forth to enable businesses and countries leapfrog to more resilient and efficient economies.
For Metropole Special Reports, I'm Ondiro Oganga.